Good evening, fellow ghouls and specters alike. It's your ghost host with the most, Tiki here.
And BlueDragonFive. Here to engage in some haunted holiday hijinks by trudging through the catacombs and dusting off the cobwebs as we recount our spooky selection of Halloween classics.
So light the jack-o'-lanterns, suit up and grab the candy dish, as we revive and recount tonight's selection, entitled Billy and Mandy's Jacked Up Halloween. You know what I think Billy and Mandy have been doing in their spare time, BlueDragonFive?
What?
They've been doing stage management. They've been doing, backstage lifting because it gets you ripped. Funny, yeah. Bates Motel joke.
I know it's a reference. I don't really quite get the joke though.
Because it's a jacked up Halloween.
Ah, yeah. Oh, okay, now
it gets you ripped, yo. Yeah. Wow, that's a great first joke to start out on. I'm already feeling. All right. Wonderful. Well, whatever.
You've made Emma cry.
No, not Emma. Okay, BlueDragonFive. This is your series, really. I'll tell you my quick history with this series. Okay, I do remember it was picked up during one of those contests where they had like 4 or 5 pilots and you had to vote on them. Am I remembering that correctly?
Well, I'm not sure about the origin to that extent.
Okay, well, I vividly remember something like that. It was like at the end of the summer. What kept me from watching the show in its early run before it just became the grim adventures of Billy and Mandy was when they paired it with Evil Con Carne.
Yeah, originally it started off as a pairing, then the shows got they spread their wings, and it was interesting. And basically, Billy and Mandy got a much longer lifespan than Evil Con Carne did. I really liked Evil Con Carne, though.
I'm not saying Evil Con Carne is a bad show. I'm saying, like, is someone who genuinely did really, really like the Billy and Mandy pilot. Because, keep in mind, that was when I was about 10 years old. I was obsessed with Nightmare Before Christmas and everything like that. So Billy and Mandy had a quality that definitely appealed to me. But then along comes this other show, which is just like, I definitely appreciate Con Carne a lot more now. Like, I appreciate just the off-the-wall factor it has. But you got to admit, it's kind of a stark contrast between that and Billy and Mandy. I mean,
it is. I mean, they're both created by the same guy. Both very, very different, very quirky, very interesting.
They're very quirky in their own ways, in very different ways.
I thought they're both. They're just the premise for both are really interesting. I thought they had a lot of leg room to grow, and it's a lot of fun, I should say.
Right. So I don't know. Like maybe now I would definitely be probably more open to Con Carne. But I remember as a kid, I was just thrown off by it. And I was like, well, I don't want to have to sit through the Hector Con Carne stuff to get to the Billy and Mandy stuff. So that's why I kind of unfortunately gave up on the show way sooner than I probably should have. And I will admit that was right at my transitioning point, when I was getting more into anime and more into serialized stuff like Lost and stuff like that. So Survivor. So it was kind of the tipping point between me being into like kids programming and then kind of going into more adventurous territory. So I regret not watching the show though. You know why?
Why?
Well, I mean, frankly, this is a damn good episode. I mean, I could just jump into this thing like knowing very, very little about the show besides just the initial setup and the 3 main characters. And this is one of my favorites that we've reviewed so far, BlueDragonFive. I really found this one delightful.
Oh, yeah. So I was worried you weren't going to like it, actually.
No, I really liked it.
That's good.
So, really quickly, what was your personal experiences with this episode in particular? Why did it stand out to you as a selection for the Halloween stuff?
Well, to be honest, there are technically, if I'm recalling this correctly, because towards the end of Billy and Mandy, it kind of dropped off a little bit. I mean, their episode, as far as I can recall, I've seen every episode, but there might have been a few towards the end I missed because they kind of ran together towards the end. Mm-hmm. But to my knowledge, there were 3 Halloween specials. One of them was technically a movie. Technically, all the movies feel very Halloween-ish because they're all like monster related and stuff. But the point is,
I mean, Billy and Mandy is definitely the kind
Yeah.
of show where it's like every episode, in a way, could be shown in a Halloween marathon loop and just be like, oh, it's Billy and Mandy, that's Halloween.
Yeah, I mean, when your character's the Grim Reaper, I mean, you think you lend yourself to a lot of Halloween.
Right.
in there, but particularly there's like 3 specific Halloween specials. The first one I debated upon bringing up, but this one's always kind of stuck out to me because of Wayne Knight, and there's a sequence in this episode I really want to talk about. It's my favorite part of the episode. It really stuck out to me. It's kind of an explanation of our main villain of the piece, and that to me is such a well-crafted bit of storytelling and so well told by our voice actor for Grim. I always loved the character Grim on this show. I mean, it really just kind of always stuck out to me. That's why I picked this one over the first one. The first one's really hilarious, and I'll just tell you about it real quick. It's basically, it's the first time I guess Grim goes trick-or-treating with the kids. And the idea is he gets separated from them. And I forget what exactly the circumstances are, but essentially he gets mixed up with a kid, like a little kid dressed like the difference is obvious. The kid's like a little kid with blonde hair with like a plastic skull mask on with like a giant broomstick scythe. So obviously not the Grim Reaper, yet he gets switched when the trick-or-treats, and the mom gets the kid. No, the mom gets Grim, and the kids get and Billy thinks it's Grim. Mandy just says, "Well, no, obviously it's not Grim," and then by the end, it's like, "Yeah, well, obviously it's not Grim," but still, Grim is stuck being mommied by this one. He loves it. He loves the genuine affection he's receiving from this one who thinks he's little Gregory.
And that's one of the strengths of the show, I think, is like the difference between Billy and Mandy in terms of intelligence. It's just a very, very stark contrast.
Yeah, and of course, again, the big selling point for me with the show, again, from the premise, and just I love the character of Grim. It's just this idea is just kind of this almost essentially it's a Jamaican accent on the Grim Reaper.
Yeah, it's kind of like Sebastian the Crab is the form of the Grim Reaper.
I know you'd never think of that combination, but it works so well. And I'm gonna say it's Greg. I'm gonna say it's Greg Earls, but I'm really hoping I'm not getting that wrong. If you'd like to look it up at any chance, that'd be great.
Give me a sec.
If you can. Anyway, so point is just that character is great. And again, the premise, in case you don't know, just to refresh it, very simple. It's just they won the Grim Reaper in a bet. Basically, he was coming to reap the soul of Billy's hamster, who never appears in the series afterwards, by the way. Just they challenged the Grim Reaper to a contest, which he never loses any games, any contests, and they challenged to a limbo contest. And essentially, the Grim Reaper, he loses, and he becomes their best friend forever. And that's the idea. He just becomes their best friend, so we can never leave them.
It's Greg Eagles, it looks like.
Yeah, Eagles. I know there's like a pronunciation on that. That's why I keep thinking Earls, but okay.
Right. Yeah, I don't know if it's supposed to be pronounced Eagles or if it's like I don't know.
Yeah, I want to say Elvis or something, but I don't know. But okay, point is, the voice actor plays been really good. But seriously, it's kind of a funny premise in itself. Just that's the idea why it's that absurdity, why the Grim Reaper's always palling around with these kids and always getting the shenanigans with them.
And of course, I love the mix between Mandy just outright despising Grim and then kind of like these episodes, like this episode is a good example of where they're kind of reluctantly bonding with each other.
Yeah, well, it's like the idea that Billy's the one who wanted the Grim Reaper to be their friend, and Mandy sees like the potential of like, okay, well, we have this huge supernatural thing that benefit us. We get into shenanigans. Like, yes, this is fun. Yeah, that sort of thing. Of course, the Mandy voiced by the wonderful, the talented, the lovely Greta Lyles.
Oh, of course.
Yet another reason
I think this is arguably one of her more iconic performances.
Yes, but I think I like her much more as the Major Dr. Ghastly on Evil Concarne. I love her as that character, though.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of similarities there.
Not between these two characters, but...
No, not between the two characters, but between the vocal performances, in a way.
Right. But yeah, it's a clever concept. Clever concept for showing in this episode with the talent coming from Wayne Knight, just kind of this really great origin for this character with a viable vendetta against the Grim Reaper. And it's kind of a mixing of other Halloween tales into one, just a night of Halloween mischief. It's a fun little tale. Let's get into it.
Okay. So Billy is watching what appears to be kind of maybe like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre ripoff?
It would seem at first glance, Billy's like he's ready for bed and stuff. He's watching it. Actually it's Chop and Charlie. It's an ad from Chop and Charlie selling chainsaws.
Now that's some first class buzzsaw, Charlie. Crazy Chop and Charlie's gonna get me.
Oh, the product placement we have on these shows.
Oh yes, oh yes.
You know what we could use? I could use a bag of gummy chairs, couldn't you?
Oh, of course, of course. And also some of the Tanner's homemade candied apples, which we didn't mention in Alf.
And maybe some Reptar bars. Just this is
you gotta have the Reptar bars, man.
Of course, because they turn your tongue green.
Of course. Okay, so anyways, we see Mandy, and she has a very particular costume. She's Hamlet with a Grim skull. Now, BlueDragonFive, do you want me to explain why Grim can take off his head and do all this stuff and everything? Or better yet, maybe I can allow one of his skeleton buddies to do it for us. How about that? Huh?
Sure.
All right. Well, let's see what I can do. Mr. Jack Skeleton, are you out there?
And since I am dead, I can take off my head to recite Shakespearean quotations. No animal, no man can scream like I can with the fury of my recitations.
All right, Danny Elfman, you master you.
I hope that was well timed. But seriously, though, Grim is the Hamlet skull, which is awesome, and made me instantly think of Jack Skeleton.
So basically, they Manny knocks on the door, and basically Billy does not know it's Halloween because he's stupid. That's the main thing to remember. Billy's a very stupid character. Not that he's a bad character, it's just down the line he kind of became an annoying character. But in the beginning,
I feel like in the early days, the point of Billy was kind of like developing the different ranges of his stupidity, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it was kind of
like Homer Simpson-esque in a way.
I was thinking more of it was kind of like a Ren and Stimpy type idiocy with Billy in the beginning.
Billy, you stupid idiot!
Yeah, essentially it was like he was like Stimpy, kind of the ambitious cat that was an idiot, but had his smart moments.
So would Ren kind of be a mix of Mandy and Grim?
Actually, that's a very apt description. I never thought of it. The accent mixed with the anger.
Right. Okay.
But essentially, that's how the show started off. And down the line, let's just say, again, that's the reason I kind of remember those episodes towards the end a little less, because Billy just kind of got super annoying. I was just like, I can't. It's just unbelievable. Fred Burger became a big thing and kept bringing him back.
Right.
I mean, one of the best parts, though, and I'll mention this. So Phil Lamar, he was a Hector Concarne on Evil Concarne, the Talking Brain.
Of course.
And of course, Phil Lamar, very talented voice actor, as as everyone knows. And one of his most famous roles, most famous comedic roles, came from Billy and Mandy. He played Dracula. It was kind of like remember like the blaxploitation Dracula.
Oh God!
It was kind of like that, and basically Phil Lamar, they have this hilarious take. There's like an episode where basically Grim looked up to Dracula.
Blackula.
No, it's a different one, but it's like inspired by. Basically, it's like what if Red Fox, what if like the Sanford and Son character was Dracula? So that's how he plays him. He plays him.
Okay, that makes sense.
Pretty much, Grim looked up to this guy, and there's like a retirement home of old movie monsters.
Mm-hmm.
And Grim they went on a road trip to get to the early bird special breakfast. It's like Dracula, suck the poison out. Dracula don't suck. Dracula scrape and lick. Scrape and lick. Dracula, he always says his first name. That's the gay. Dracula getting tired of walking all over here. It's hysterical. Anyway, sorry, I just want to mention Bill Lamar's brilliance with the show. Okay, so basically Billy being kind of the idiot he is, lovable idiot towards the beginning, like we are here. This is in the first season, but this capped off the first season, which is a good way to end it, actually.
With a proper Halloween special for sure.
Also, when I say first season, I think I'm also separating that from like kind of the pilot-y stage of like Grim and Evil Concarne. I think it was like their first official.
Oh, season. Okay, I see. That makes sense.
Yeah, because like I don't want to say the first season, like the divided season was like
and then when it became the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
Yeah.
Which is honestly when I should have started watching the show, and I didn't because I think at that point I just wasn't watching much Cartoon Network.
Anyway, so because Billy's just gets knocked on the door, and basically they break it to him that it's Halloween, you idiot. Oh, I love Grim. So then Billy quickly, goes off and changes into a costume. I'm the Grim Reaper. Now, of course, you do know who is voicing Billy, don't you?
Oh, yeah, duh. Adam Horowitz.
Yes, good man.
Yeah, of course. Love me some Horowitz.
Yes, Horowitz.
Big Angry Beavers fan.
Also, to those, not myself, but those who are big Invaders Zim fans.
Right. Also, regular show, I believe.
I'm not.
No, I don't think so. No,
I don't know.
The character, no, don't quote me on that. The character just reminds me of Daggett. I'm sorry.
Anyway, so basically, Grim warns him to be careful because he who wields the power of the scythe can open a vortex to the underworld and end life as we know. And basically, Billy kind of cuts him off, saying, open a vortex to the underworld and end life as we know. Yes, exactly. I love the swirling vortex effect they always have, like a little green and black, a little circular. Really nice. Anyways, then they're all trick-or-treating, and then they're greeted by their friend Irwin.
Oh dear. Does this guy act this eccentric all the time? Like,
well, the idea is he has it bad for Mandy, and
I get that he has it bad for Mandy, but I'm talking about like the quality of his costumes and everything like that.
Well, no, it's just like for the Halloween thing.
Okay, because I was like, this kid has some issues going on.
Yeah, Irwin actually, honestly, because there's a third Halloween special. It's more kind of like a TV movie, which features Irwin as the main. Irwin kind of became more important character over time.
That's cool.
Essentially, it's kind of like Urkel, kind of an Urkel-esque character within the Billy and Mandy universe, because he wasn't just nerdy for the sake of nerdiness. He was nerdy, but the idea was that Irwin, he actually had a lot of supernatural ties in his life. His mother is actually a mummy.
Oh,
and apparently we find out in the Halloween special that follows that he has vampire DNA, and actually Dracula is his grandfather.
Oh, damn.
So the idea is Irwin, so he's part vampire and part mummy.
So yeah, this kid definitely, that's something that I would have never picked up on at first glance, just watching this one particular episode.
And then figure out at this point in time, but like down the line, the idea is he actually has a lot of scariness in his DNA field, and they do like the third Halloween special. And of course, they also have characters down the line that appear in that. Basically, that Halloween special was kind of them coming back from the show's cancellation for a special, essentially.
Okay.
It was like a one-off, really. It was like a one-off TV movie of like Halloween. So, we're coming back, and we're bringing back Hostel Gato, voiced by Diedrich Bader, and he was awesome. It was kind of a Bruce Campbell from Evil Dead mixed in with Diedrich Bader. It's like he had like a chainsaw and very interchangeable parts for his arms. Really cool. Anyway, so basically, Irwin's already has a series of lame costumes throughout the system. The first one is Sleeping Beauty.
Oh, kiss me, Mandy.
And basically, Mandy's pointing out the flaw there, because Mandy has a simple standard. You need to be scary for Halloween. Otherwise, it's a waste of time. Yeah, Mandy not exactly the most open-minded when it comes to things that aren't scary.
All right, wait right here. I'll go change, and then I love how sarcastic.
We'll wait right here.
We'll wait right here.
Right here.
We won't move.
Oh man, I love Greg DeLisle. The more we talk about Mandy lines, I'm loving Greg DeLisle more. See, that's the thing. Irwin has it bad for me, and I have it bad for Greg DeLisle.
Oh dear.
Okay, anyway, so the whole wait here, and then they just instantly leave. Scary baby once, scary baby gets. As we see Irwin's obsessed rooms. I mean, even this looking back at it, early on, they knew Irwin was obsessed with Mandy.
That's true. Yeah, definitely. It's like almost Helga Pataki status.
Essentially.
Almost. I mean, I don't think it goes quite that far because there's no like shrine of used gum or anything like that. But
no, he's got pictures all over the place, though.
Yeah.
Okay, let's.
And I love how pretty much every single one of them is Mandy looking pissed off at him.
Oh, of course, that's her default face.
Right. But it's great because he's just like, oh, Mandy. You must really love me. You're just playing hard to get.
Okay, so let's see. They're at the first house, and we have this
Ooh, I hope I get a chocolate nugget.
So basically, we're at the first house, and it is this old Grey DeLisle's voiced woman.
Every year it's the same thing.
You little hippies want my candy. And they say, well, I don't get Great Allows plays the grumpy old lady. Really does.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
they get so much range. It's just, well, I don't have any. They peer behind her, and she takes up a lot of room, but they look over the sides there, and they see tons and tons of candy.
Just a giant, just exaggerated mountain of candy.
Literally a giant size crate of candy. We're going to see a little bit here. Basically, just slams the door on them. Little hippies.
Little hippies. I love that.
You little hippies. Just very. Yet the lights are on and everything. Just hates. Just wants to give kids false hope, really, when you think of it. So basically, so Billy says, "Okay, next house." And no, we didn't get our game. So no treat, which means trick. They pull a trick on her. Basically, Mandy pulls out some glue, put glue on the mat, knock on the door. She gets out there, stuck on the mat. And, is this some kind of trick? Yes. Then basically unscrews the fire hydrant and then blasts her with water, and her clothes are shrinking and stuff, and she's just turns into a big baby essentially, just pulls out a rattle quite literally. It says, right. Just Greg DeLisle's wailing is pretty funny. And then they walk through the house, collect their booty, and there's a huge crate of candy, which I'm assuming is kind of an interesting take on the whole trick or treating, because it looks like that's the end of their trick or treating. They got their huge lot of candy. They're done for the evening, all in one house.
I mean, I guess that would make sense. Yeah,
that's very impressive. That's an unconventional.
If you went and you got that kind of candy haul, would you feel the need to go to any other houses?
No.
I mean, any other things that would be added onto that would just be just filler at that point.
Yeah, I mean, they go to the cemetery to bask in their candy wealth and chit chat, really.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's a good way to spend Halloween. I mean, it's a neat thing you never really see with any other Halloween specials when they do trick or treating, just done in one. That's pretty neat, You don't see that.
Doug is an example.
Well, is it done one house and that's it?
They go to BB's house and they're all embarrassed that they're trick or treating, and BB's all laughing at them, and then they're like, "Okay, screw this."
Well, no, I mean just they get all their stuff in one house. I don't mean just they quit after one house.
Oh, no. Yeah, and Doug, they quit after one house.
Oh, yeah. Ruining Halloween. Okay, so let's see. So, the cemetery, they're having their little decompression chat while they're eating the candy, and Billy posing the question to the room. Hey, Billy posing the question to the room. The space instead of room. Hey, why do we do tricks on Halloween? How did that start? And Grim says, well, I suppose that's my fault. Now we get my favorite sequence of the whole episode. The reason I brought up doing this one over the first one.
And I can totally see why. This is definitely a really good origin. And I would even wager to say that I would compare this to the Summerween Trickster.
Oh yeah.
I think this one is a little bit more comedic, whereas the Trickster is a little bit more intimidating. But I think they both are really good, kind of one-off Halloween villains that have really interesting backstories.
Oh yes, but still, I love this little backstory sequence.
So without further ado, take us through it in your best Grim voice.
Well, I don't know if I can do that.
Try.
Okay, I'll try. So basically, he just says, let's see. In Ennsville years ago, Jack loved to play pranks. Basically, a young man named Jack is going around playing pranks. He's still kind of back in medieval times, it looks like. It's pulling pranks on people, including. Basically, Jack's problem was he took it too far, constantly.
He didn't know when to stop.
So basically, we see a Jack doing things like he walks into a place and he's tickling people with the feather, distracting them. He's putting salt. He's unscrewing the tops of the salt. He's sawing off the chairs, putting kick me signs on them.
The salt thing, dare I say, might be a brief homage to Sleepy Hollow.
I don't think so.
I know it's a reach, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It reminded me of that, at least.
You put a kick me, son, kick me, I'm stupid type thing. And as you see, Jack was so prank happy, he would literally laugh. Some say he would even laugh himself to sleep. Yeah. And of course, we're hearing some Wayne Knight cackles there. You gotta love how they're teasing Wayne Knight in there.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so then basically, then one day the pranks went too far. So the townspeople decided to to prank Jack, get their revenge. So essentially, they set up so they would prank the Queen. You know, because the Queen loved getting gifts, and she had no sense of humor. Basically, they made it look like Jack gave her like an old peanut brittle can gag. Basically, snakes pop out of the can. She's not happy. Calls the Black Knight. Calls the Knight, the Executioner Knight. And then again, a really nice sequence here. Again, from this part forward is where I really love the sequence right here. So basically, like the music's building, the atmosphere's getting set up. And the Knight goes down there and kind of this little thing. It seems like a little comedic scene just explaining the origin of our villain for the piece. And then it takes this turn of like, okay, then the Knight goes down there, and then that was the end of Jack. And then pretty much off screen, the Knight wakens him in bed and kills him off screen. Basically like put an axe in him and like the little kick me signs. The ink runs like blood, and there's like a minor twinge of red in it. Really cool. And then here's my favorite part. This is the reason I love the whole thing. So I love this, just the Grim Reaper telling the story of what happened when he met Jack. He's saying, after the implication this guy's dead. So of course, guy dies. Who's going to visit him? Grim Reaper. And of course, this lovely idea of the Grim Reaper talking to the living people who are still just going to have just going to be led away till the end.
Right. Yeah. That's a really cool concept.
And that was an idea they did show occasionally, because whenever they did show Grim at work, that's what they would do. He would basically like trying to take the dead people away. Sometimes
you're coming with me.
Yeah, that's a show I could watch in itself. Just Grim taking the dead people away. It's like General Scar. At one point, he died, and basically he got away, so he didn't die.
I hate to say it though, but that's basically what that movie R.I.P.D. is all about.
Yeah, that didn't Poor Ryan Reynolds and Jeff Bridges.
And Jeff Bridges too.
I don't know what he was thinking that one.
Jeff Bridges is like impossible to understand in that movie.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna screw you, girls, because I'm a Wild West guy.
Tony Stark built this in a suit of armor in a cave with a box of scraps. And you think Jeff Bridges could do a little better?
All right.
Anyway, so basically, here my favorite part of the sequence is basically Grim narrating as he's at the guy's house and basically saying, I told Jack his time had come, and basically that I underestimated his power. And then we see Jack's power was pulling at the feather from his cap and tickling the Grim Reaper.
Yeah, that's the ace up his sleeve for sure.
See, I think this is the joke of the series. Really Grim, he gets tripped up over these small things. He's such a powerful being, he gets tripped up over the smallest thing, and then he loses big. That's what the whole show is based on. He lost the limbo contest. Now he's in service to children for all of eternity.
Oh boy.
Anyway, so again, there's this part forward here. It's like, he tickles him and takes the thing, and basically this little, again, it's minor tension, so it's tension nonetheless. Of like, well, I had to get my scythe back, so he offered me a deal. I give him eternal life, basically a bargain for eternal life. I give him eternal life, I get my scythe back. Did you do it, Grim? Well, I had to get my scythe back. And then this part, the reason I love it, he just says,
Yeah, I imagine this is probably one of the darker things that ever happens on this show.
Yeah, it is. I'm going around. A lot of dark stuff happens. Usually it's by implication. Like there's this really horrific episode where there's a Mandy doll that tries that kind of befriends Billy, but it's like a really painful relationship.
Ooh, damn. Ooh,
yeah,
that sounds like it has some fucked up implications there.
It does. Basically, it's like I don't want to get into it. It's too scary.
Yeah.
Point is,
man, that sounds like an episode we could do. Is like one of those episodes that's not technically Halloween.
Well, look, there are tons of Billy and Mandy episodes that fit that description.
Okay.
The point is, just this ending here says I can let word going around he tricked the Grim Reaper, so I did grant him his eternal life, but I made it so he wouldn't be showing his face again. Then, we see Grim, shook his hand, gave him the eternal life, and Jack's all pleased with himself, and then Grim pulling the scythe back. Then Billy pointing out, you cut his head off? Mandy's impressed. Yep. And just Grim chowing down some candy.
So basically, he put on a pumpkin head, and he became what is known as the first jack-o'-lantern, which I thought was a really fucking clever conceit. You know what this reminded me of?
Sorry, go ahead.
It reminded me of like if they made a sequel to Rise of the Guardians and they had someone representing Halloween. I think jack-o'-lantern would be a really good way to go.
It would. Yeah, it's kind of like a mix of Nightmare Before Christmas meets Sleepy Hollow.
Right. Yeah, it definitely does have a Sleepy Hollow quality to it too, for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, so
like if the Headless Horseman from Sleepy Hollow had Jack Skellington's personality in a way.
Yeah, he still lives in that house untouched by time. Jack still is pulling pranks to this day, and we see there's a funeral going on. Basically, the casket's lowered onto a whoopee cushion. Again, some comedy amongst all this dark background. It's like just Jack, and as the screen behind you is shown a few times, just Jack wearing this little veil, just like with a giant pumpkin right there. Giant pumpkin smile, proud of himself for such a silly prank. But you see, though, it's a really great little backstory there. It's narrated by Grim. I'm not doing any injustice. It's narrated by Grim.
No, you're fine. You're fine. It's good. It's good.
Just talking about like how the Grim Reaper. I just love it's like the mythology of that idea. Like Grim, it's such a It's like such a mythological fairy tale type, story.
Yeah, like I said, I feel like this kind of backstory would fit right in with something like Rise of the Guardians. Like it takes it that seriously, which really impressed me.
It's like this great little morality tale. You make a deal with the Grim Reaper, every deal has a cost.
Exactly.
And he gives you eternal life, but you still screwed around with the Grim Reaper, which means
eternal life. And who better to represent the spirit of Halloween than someone who made a deal with the Grim Reaper?
Yes, a man who you escape death, but of course, if you get eternal life, that means you can live through anything, even the worst things that can happen to you, which of course, beheading.
Because if you think about it, Halloween has never really had an icon the same way that, like Christmas, Santa Claus, Santa Claus, Easter Bunny. We could even go into like the leprechauns from St. Patrick's Day.
The best representation of Halloween has to be a pumpkin or a ghost. Those are your really two options to go with.
But we could go with like Uncle Sam for the 4th of July even. That's kind of a bit of a stretch, but
okay, so then Billy doesn't buy it at first, saying, "Oh, Jack with the evil pumpkin head." I don't buy it anyways. But then he gets instantly scared when Irwin appears. Did I scare you?
In the most terrifying costume of all.
He's a turtle. Not just
a turtle.
He's a What is it, Tiki?
Hold on, I have it written down somewhere.
This is funny. He's a female.
He's a female Indonesian redback sea turtle, and he comes with eggs.
These are my eggs. Pretty creepy, huh?
I did think that was legitimately creepy, actually. That you would go through that effort.
Asking if he can get a kiss, and it's.
Oh God.
Anyways, then Mandy says, we should split up, and there's Irwin crawling back into his well. Well, I can understand if you need your space. Irwin has his laughs now. He has his laughs.
Yeah, he's fine.
Okay, so then they essentially Mandy means to split up. So I guess they're not done their trick or treating. So apparently that much candy still isn't satisfying.
Well, I guess in that way you can look at it as like I feel like Mandy in many ways is almost kind of like a more realistic version of a hustler type character in the same vein as Eddie.
Yeah, I guess.
So maybe she's just trying to get the most bang for her buck on Halloween. Free candy is free candy. Gotta stock up.
Yeah, she has her business skills.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Basically, she and Grim are gonna hit this side of town. Billy's gonna hit this side, and Irwin's gonna get a better costume.
Mm-hmm. So this is where I feel like the episode really starts to pick up. Don't you agree?
Yeah, take us through it.
Okay, so basically Billy Billy spots a house on a hill, and he's just it's the most ominous looking goddamn house. It looks obviously haunted. And Billy's just like, wow, that looks like a great place to get treats. Oh God.
Apparently Billy's learned nothing from the story.
No, absolutely not. Like the story just went completely over his head, like in one ear out the other.
So he stops specifically at Jack's house. So he's at Jack's house, and he gets a trick. Trick or treat. Trick. And he pulls out a skunk, and Billy thinks it's a pet, and then just huge plume of stink.
He likes me.
And then, of course, the wonderful, the incomparable, the much beloved Wayne Knight doing the voice of Jack here. We love Wayne Knight, really do. Of course, Wayne Knight most notably Newman from Seinfeld. We're gonna see some Wayne Knight again. This
Of course, Dennis Nedry from Jurassic Park.
of course, and
You didn't say the magic word.
Al from Al's Toy Barn, and someone we're gonna see this time around, Evil Emperor Zurg.
Right.
Not from Toy Story 2, but from another cartoon.
Al from Al's Toy Barn voicing Evil Emperor Zurg,
which is
in continuity.
Anyways, Wayne Knight is providing his comedic talents here, and it says, you and your phony scythe. Phony scythe? This is the real thing. And then, Jack is intrigued by this. He
sees property of the Grim Reaper written right on the scythe.
The real deal. He uses the old feather trick to get the scythe. Yet again, man, that feather is really tricky. You never want to mess with the guy with the feather.
No, this episode definitely taught me that.
It's like from Batman '89. If Joker's armed with a feather, you run.
Well, I was gonna say it's like the Dark Knight, where you never want to mess with a man with a pencil.
Yeah, man, the pen is truly mightier than the sword. It's like a quill pen. That's the idea. Still kill a man with a feathery pen.
My dad's like watching The Dark Knight in the other room, so The Dark Knight's kind of on my mind.
Okay, anyway, so it's kind of fun. A lot of pen-related deaths in Batman.
Yeah, there are. A
lot of writing utensils used to kill people in Batman. Okay, so then basically, some trick-or-treating fun is proposed here.
I love this. Grim and Mandy bonding over toilet paper in people's houses.
Yep, and basically, Happy Halloween, I love how the person being TP is still in Happy Halloween spirit. It's like, happy, and again, so this one did give them candy. I want to specify it. Oh, Mandy, you're right. Tricking and treating is fun.
And I get the sense that Mandy and Grim don't often get along as good as they do in this.
Yeah, they're usually the cynics of the thing. However, it's Mandy's the constant cynic, but Grim, like many times, always kind of touching. Really, in the beginning seasons, more often, it's always kind of touching when Grim and Billy got along. Because again, Billy's the one who values the friendship more so Mandy views him as property. Literally property. It's how she views it as like a contractual agreement. So Grim can never leave us. We're gonna use him as our slave, quite literally. And you get those moments of genuine care and sometimes some bonding. Grim will get invested. Like, I'm going to show you kids something awesome. Manuel says, well, this is impressive. Without this sucks. Anyway, so happy Halloween, you nutty kids. Okay, so then Jack has the scythe, and then Billy invites him to go trick-or-treating. So again, Billy, a nice kid. And he's dumb as a sack of moldy bricks.
Yeah. Well, okay, but can we bring some friends? Oh, you can never have enough friends.
Kid, I'm beginning to like you.
All right, so they're waiting in a pumpkin patch, which is what I might be a long stretch, but I hope it might be a very, very loose homage to It's the Great Pumpkin.
How can you not think of that when you think of it?
I know. I'm like, they're waiting in a goddamn pumpkin patch. Snoopy's going to pop out at any minute.
Anyway, so basically, Jack opens that vortex, the underworld, which unleashes a bunch of ghosts that possess pumpkins all over, and then we get an army.
This very much reminded me of the Night on Bald Mountain scene from Fantasia, with all the demons coming down and everything like that.
So we get like a legion of spooky pumpkins, and it's pretty cool looking.
It's quite terrifying.
And then Wayne Knight. Now Wayne Knight, as many people know from Seinfeld, and also Evil Emperors are going to Buzz Lightyear Star Command. Wayne Knight is the master of the evil monologue. So I'm just going to try to do it the best I can. He says, "Chaos will reign. We will rule the night. We will get our revenge. The sun will never rise again. It'll be Halloween forever." And Billy's saying, now that's the Halloween spirit.
Yeah, Billy's totally into it at this point. He's totally down with everything.
So we see a lot of pumpkin chaos going on. The giant leading pumpkin, which looks freaking awesome. There's this giant pumpkin parade float of a pumpkin just walking around these giant stems for feet, like an elephant pumpkin almost.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Really cool. I love that. Was my favorite image from this thing. Oh, it's so cool.
Now let's go exact vengeance on the one person.
And then before that, though, it was really funny. It's just this is great, but there's something missing. And Billy's just saying, what's missing? And he says, I know. Vengeance on the Grim Reaper.
Well, it's not a party without Grim.
So then, let's see. So Grim starts to pick up on the, I don't quite know what it is, but there's something supernatural in the air. What was your first clue? We see all the pumpkins and spirits and ghosts going around there, and then it's revealed Irwin shows up as a banana.
Probably the least creative costume.
But the funniest pun. Says,
Right.
Tell me, am I appealing? Huh?
Yeah.
And then he's just knocked on his back, so much like the turtle cannot get up. So then a Grim napping occurs. Grim is kidnapped by the giant pumpkin.
Mm-hmm.
And Mandy, Billy, responsible for the end of the world. I'm not surprised.
Better go save him.
Yep. And we have Grim and everyone saying, "Hi, Grim. Billy, where's my scythe?" And then Jack's just gloating and saying, "Well, I give it back to you, but I need it for a little something." Then the introductions.
Billy's just like, ooh, have you two met?
And of course, again, Billy took literally nothing away from that story whatsoever.
It's like literally like the guy is talking like 5 minutes ago about having to go pick up Grim.
Yep. And Billy, it's like the hamster. It's like there's a hamster wheel in Billy's head, and the hamster has been killed 3 times over.
This truly is like I do think this is the best Adam Horowitz performance. I really do.
Richard Horowitz.
Oh, Richard Horowitz. I'm sorry for I don't know why.
Like Rick. I don't know what the shorthand for his name is, but like Richard Horowitz. Sorry.
Horowitz. I'm sorry.
I don't even know if it's Horowitz.
Seriously, I do think Billy is probably his best performance.
I think it's like Horvitz even, but we're not going to get.
Oh, is it really?
I'm pretty sure it's like Horowitz is one of the guys created Once Upon a Time, Tiki.
Oh, you're right. Oh, I'm bad. I'm pretty
sure Adam Horowitz is one of the guys who created Once Upon a Time, but I could be wrong.
I think you're right. I'm getting my Horowitzes mixed up.
I think it's like Horvitz or something, but again, I can't. Yeah, some of the best voice actors have the names are sometimes hard to.
That's true.
Don't get me wrong, man. Delisle just sounds like the most wonderful, pleasant sound on earth. So that's Delisle. And again, with all due respect, just real quick, I always wanted to make this point. Yeah, she's going by Griffin now, but Delisle sounds so much cool. That's why we fell in love with her with that name. She kept that name. It's like Delisle's Griffin, Delisle.
All right.
Anyway, so the whole have you met? Just love like Grim and Jack have this real tense relationship going on here, and just Billy is not catching on to it at all. He's just saying, "Yes, we've met." Okay,
here comes my absolute favorite moment of the whole episode.
What's going on?
Okay, so Mandy, she's just steaming. She's like, "Leave it to Billy to destroy Halloween," and then we have Irwin, and he's dressed up as Little Bo Peep, and he has a real live sheep with him.
And I've lost my
mind. You've lost your mind, Irwin. That was great.
Oh yeah. So let's see. So Jack, this I thought was funny. Again, Wayne Knight bringing the brilliance. I want to say he improv this, but I have no idea. Jack is fed up with the obviously living without a head, having a pumpkin for it, and he points at you. I'm so fed up. I can't even go to the ding dong grocery store to buy pudding.
Oh God.
This
very much sounds like something Wayne Knight would be upset about.
Well, he's actually trimmed down considerably.
Newman.
So anyway, Billy's asking, why cut the. Basically, why are you doing all this? Billy. Basically, Jack keeps setting Grin up. You know why? Why I can't go out to buy pudding? And Billy continues to answer with the obvious questions. He's saying, because Grim cut your head off, now you're a pumpkin-headed freak.
Yes. Got it, Billy. Good job.
It just goes on a little bit like that for a while, and then basically says, "And now I'm returning the favor." And then Billy points out the one. That's actually a good bit of plot here. So Billy's pointing out the one flaw in his plan, which was a good thing they addressed there.
Yeah, it was something I was thinking about until they brought it up. So I'm glad they addressed it.
Yeah, we saw at the beginning of this episode, Grim's head detached from his body.
Yeah, since he is dead, he can take off his head and recite Shakespearean quotations,
which I'm pretty sure Grim can do, actually.
Yeah, I'm pretty damn sure.
Yeah, I love well-read skeletons. We need more well-read skeletons in the world. Anyway, so basically, Billy points out the flaw here of Grim's head's detachable. It's a movable head. So because what's the big deal? But then Jack, once again, Jack's been obsessed with this again, the thing that took away his head. So I think he would take some time to learn about it. He basically points out, if something is removed with the scythe of the Grim Reaper, it's permanent.
Oh boy,
it stays off permanent. Sorry, Grim. So then Jack unleashes a slew of head.
Wait. Hold on. I've been kind of lazy with the sound effects tonight, but I need to. These puns deserve a rim shot.
Well, I don't know every pun.
Well, we need at least one rim shot in here because it totally calls.
Well, I know one of them, but.
Okay, lay it on me.
At some point, he says, "Well, Grim, I know you've got a good head on your shoulders." Basically, there's like a few of like, I've never known you stick your neck out for someone until now. A slew of those.
Yeah.
After a barrage of head puns, he prepares for the beheading and whistling a tune as he's doing so. Again, it's impressive for a pumpkin to be able to whistle as well as talk. Anyways, let's see. So then Billy finally realizes the trouble. He's running off.
Hold on. That's no way to get ahead. One more.
You have an audience laughing there?
Yes, I do.
Oh,
Grim, it looks like you've got a good head on your shoulders. Oh, yes. Thank you, everybody. I'll be here all week.
Okay.
I don't know why I went British there for a second.
All right, so Billy realizes the trouble finally. He's running off, just running panicking.
Fucking amazing visual gag. Just the light bulb breaking and hitting him in the head.
Yep. So then basically a little bit exposition between Billy and Mandy. She's explaining the situation to Mandy, and she's getting ready for war. She's in her army stuff. Putting the little grease paint on her.
Mm.
And anyway,
basically creating like an elaborate Home Alone style Halloween trap.
Yes, exactly. So pretty much it's like, well, the only way to fight pranks is with pranks, and Billy needs you to make with distraction. Okay. Yeah. So after the head on the shoulders, we got Billy making with the distraction, which essentially is providing a full moon for the pumpkins. Mm-hmm. So as that's happening, Mandy prepares the pranks such as hot sauce in the milk, banana peel, whoopee cushion, bucket of water atop a tree, a beehive with a little bit of dynamite in there. No dynamite or fireworks, I guess. Electric eels and pies.
Eels, boy! I'm sorry.
And of course, pies, because if we've learned anything, pies are the root of all comedy. If we've learned anything from Steven Universe,
of course.
But don't pie a crystal gem. They don't like it.
Oh god.
Seriously, breaks them down to tears. Don't do it.
So like I said, there's some serious like Kevin McAllister type shit going on down here.
Yes. So again, in a weird way, it looks like everyone's kind of captivated with Billy's show. It's kind of unsettling.
Yeah, they definitely are. I know.
Kind of weird. Anyway, so then
I don't even know what to make of that.
I don't want to look into it too much. Anyway, so they're preparing. So now preparing for the decapitation. And then basically Jack, this is interesting. So this just shows how cool a villain Jack was. He was so cool. He knew what was going on the whole time. He was just like,
that was a good reveal.
Yeah, nice try, to trick old Jack here. But,
he genuinely appreciates the effort, too.
Yeah, I'm not afraid of a few pies and whoopee cushions. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
And then the thing he does fear is fear of the night that killed him. Dun, 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 dun. And it's the night walking in there, and he's fearful. But then it's revealed to be Irwin, and essentially
living on a banana peel of all things.
Living on a banana peel, and essentially Irwin is subjected to all the setup.
God!
All around the thing, and essentially the pumpkin army suffers a Roger Rabbit demise, like a weasels from Roger Rabbit type demise. They laugh themselves.
Yes, they do. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, they die from laughter, and their spirits get sucked back to the overhead portal. Yeah, basically, what if the Fantastic Four ending actually worked? Essentially.
I thought the milk with the hot sauce in it was probably the cruelest thing in this whole elaborate setup.
Let's see. So he slips on the banana peel, lands on the whoopee cushion, a bucket of water falls on his head, and he's stumbling around. I thought the bees were terrifying.
Yeah, the bees. Yeah, okay. Oh God, not the bees!
Basically,
I'll give you credit.
Seriously, that's genuinely horrific. The way he swallowed the thing is, oh god. And then he drinks the milk for relief, and that's painful. He gets pied, and then he falls into the electric eels. Ouch!
Eels, yes.
Eels, we have mighty eel strength. So then again, so Roger.
That's actually not what I was referencing, but good job. That was another good eel reference.
So then there's again, Roger Rabbit weasel defeats all around for everyone. Mandy gets the scythe, cutting everyone free. Everyone's fine. So then it's basically but then basically Jack then gets before Jack's ending. I think it's something happened before that. Oh, all right. So Grim and Jack have their little scene together, and basically, what are you gonna do? This is interesting. I love this kind of almost a bit of a Joker bit from the Dark Knight. Now that you put it in my head, so I'm just kind of like laughing at. Well, what are you gonna do to me? I have eternal life. Just laughing at him. You can't do anything to me. And then Grim says, "Yes, you're right." And this is a great look again.
You have had nothing you can threaten me with.
You have nothing to threaten me with.
Oh, Heath Ledger, so good.
Anyway, so with that though, it's like this great bit again. You know how much I love that sequence. This great little punctuation to the whole special, kind of, almost in a full circle way. Just like, oh yeah, sure. Again, Grim having a confident. This is a great defeat for Jack for Jack the Pumpkinhead here. Just like
it's a great resolution all around.
Yeah.
I think.
Again, Grim defeats him with the feather, which again is a great showing Grim has learned. He's saying, "Oh yes, you're right. A deal's a deal." Grim Reaper's all about deals and wagers.
Mm-hmm.
Deal's a deal. Takes the feather, tickles him, so he flies up into the vortex and then into the portal to the underworlds. I mean, he's gone. He says, "Well, yes, but I think we can agree you've overstayed your welcome." And then he's sucked up into the thing.
Now, Grim, if you didn't lend me my scythe to begin with, none of this would have happened.
I hate you, Billy. And then Irwin gets his kiss with a whoopee cushion.
Oh god.
That's as much as Irwin's gonna get.
Exaggerated, like puffed up, beasting lips.
Yeah. And then we have kind of the ultimate. It's a really dark resolution, by the way. It's just Jack is in the underworld, so he's like, I wonder what's gonna happen to Jack. Oh, it'll be fine. So Jack's in the underworld, and he's just like demons and everything, basically like slingshotting that, just annoying the heck out of the demons in the underworld. Essentially, the point where it's off screen, but if you listen enough, it's really scary.
That's true. That's true. They do leave it a little bit ambiguous.
Well, you hear it, so you know what it is ambiguous. But still, you hear squash. So the idea is they crushed his head.
Oh God.
You hear a squash when it cuts to black. So
they pulled an Iceman.
But yeah, they turned him into pumpkin pie.
Oh God. Okay, so yeah, that was Billy and Mandy's Jacked Up Halloween. All right, BlueDragonFive. So really quick, final thoughts on this particular endeavor.
I liked it. It was spooky. Again, had that great kind of a Sleepy Hollow-esque sequence in there, and again with the payoff, and this great little narrated sequence that it kind of gave some good context to the Jack character, and there's a lot of fun, just kind of Halloween mayhem, just defeating, in a way, if you want to look into it, just as a Halloween special, he's showing, amongst all the scary stuff, don't get too scared, because there can be some humor found in things through dark means, in this case, of Irwin being pummeled constantly by pranks, but again, really zeroed in on the trick and treat part of Halloween. If you don't get the treats, you get tricks, and it's all about the tricks of this special. It's interesting to see amongst all the other Halloween specials. Usually they focus on the treats more than the tricks.
I think the tricks are always left out. No one ever fucking talks about the tricks. So yeah,
Rocket Power does showcase the tricks.
That's true, and we did have the Summerween Trickster. So
well, that was less trick. It was more attempted manslaughter.
Yeah, I know, but still.
Actually, technically cannibalism, but I'm not.
Oh God.
I don't know how the whole human parameter.
I've been traumatized.
Why couldn't that have been Onion?
Because it's a different show.
I know that. I'm just saying.
Network.
Oh, all right, fine. Don't poke holes in everything.
Okay. Anyways. So, yeah, my personal thoughts on this episode is, as someone who really should have watched more Billy and Mandy because it was right up my alley. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, I need to get like, it's not certainly not on my priority to get more caught up with this show, but I can definitely see the appeal it has. I can definitely see how it's like it almost kind of feels like a lighter version of Courage the Cowardly Dog in some ways.
I wouldn't go that far. Again, the thing is, Billy and Mandy is an acquired taste. So there are some people who might be a little too cynical for him, which I could definitely see. Again, it bridged on that for me at times.
I can see that, yeah. But just in general with this episode specifically, like I said, I think the strongest element is definitely how they kind of like build up this mythological kind of like Halloween entity. And it's a really cool backstory and a really kind of believable backstory in terms of, in terms of crafting like a Halloween bad guy, a Halloween persona, the likes of someone like Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny. And then it's fucking Wayne Knight, and it's hilarious. And so it's like, it's just got a really good mix of atmosphere and just zany humor. So I really enjoyed it. This was a good one. This was a good pick. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a very fun Halloween special. Get you in the Halloween spirit,
Indeed. And for the next Haunted Holiday Hijinks, we will be taking a look at the Halloween special for one of the most dated 90s shows of all time, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air! Oh, yes. Oh, yes. All right. All right. So, anyways, BlueDragonFive, ready to call it a night?
Good night.
Oh, no, not yet.
I'm ready.
All right. Well, folks, our spirits grow weary tonight. But don't worry. They'll be stronger than ever next time as we engage in more Haunted Holiday Hijinks. Creepy witch in the corner.
Yeah.
Your mind. You've lost your mind, Irwin.